Well, you're going to lead us, Christy, in the Pledge of Allegiance to being our new city clerk. Okay, ready, everybody? Good evening, everybody, and I'm calling to order the Calabasas City Council meeting of August 13th, 2025. Tonight, we have in the council chambers, council members David Shapiro and Ed Albrecht, and participating remotely is our mayor, Peter Kraut. I'm James Bazagian, the mayor pro tem. Alicia Weintraub, Councilmember Weintraub, is excused. So we will start. And first, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And our new city clerk, Christy Bucks-Kemper, please lead us. Okay, the clerk will take the roll call.
Councilmember Albrecht. Councilmember Shapiro.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Bazagian.
Here.
Mayor Kraut.
Here.
Attending remotely for the record. And Councilmember Weintraub, as noted, is absent for the record.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
We have to do roll call votes because somebody is on the council's virtual. It's required under California law, so all of our votes will be roll call. So take the roll call, please.
Councilmember Albrecht. Yes. Councilmember Shapiro.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bazagian.
Aye.
Mayor Kraut.
Yes.
And Councilmember Weintraub is absent for the record. That passes 4-1.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just for clarification,
It should be 4-0.
Sorry.
Yes, sorry,
Okay.
4-0, 1 absent.
I was thinking 3-1 too. I don't know
My
why.
apologies.
Okay.
No worries.
So we have presentations, and our first presentation is from Deputy De Matteo of the Lost Hills Sheriff's Station, and you're going to present the Sheriff's Crime Report for May and June of this year.
Good evening. I am Deputy De Matteo of the Lost Hills Sheriff Station, and I have the crime reports for May and June 2025. So let's get into May. We did have 17 Part 1 crimes for May. This was a 19% reduction in crime reported from 2024. We did have one residential burglary. This incident occurred on North Las Virgenes Road. A named suspect broke into a business partner's apartment where business documents were taken. We did have one vehicle burglary, one theft from an unlocked vehicle, and 7 grand theft incidents in the city. 5 of those crimes were retail-based. The other 2 involved a stolen purse and a stolen watch. 3 petty thefts and 1 stolen car. That vehicle was a golf cart. It was also taken from North Las Virgenes Road. We did have 1 aggravated assault. A minor threatened a therapist with scissors during a home visit. And then we did have 2 robberies. 1 incident occurred on Parkway Calabasas. The victims alleged they were forced off the road by a pickup truck, threatened with a firearm, and then had jewelry stolen. We did have 1 more robbery. That incident occurred on at a motel on Agora Road. The victim alleges he was assaulted and had $50 stolen. Now let's get into June. June, 13 Part 1 crimes. This is an 18% reduction compared to 2024. 3 residential burglaries. 1 occurred on Blackbird Way. The home in this burglary was vacant and targeted by a squatter. That individual was arrested for burglary. Another occurred on Lupine Lane. This was an attempt only, so a physical burglary did not occur. And the last one occurred on Dry Canyon Cold Creek. This home was also vacant. A rear sliding door was shattered, and it is unknown what was taken. We did have 2 vehicle burglaries, 4 grand thefts. 2 of these thefts were retail-based. The other 2 involved a stolen electric bicycle and stolen landscape equipment. We did have 3 petty thefts and 1 stolen car. That was a Mercedes SUV, was taken from Park Sorrento. And that's your crime report for May and June. Are there any questions, comments, concerns about this report or anything any current events.
Does anybody have any questions? David?
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you and everyone at the staff at the sheriff's station for keeping us all as safe as you do. And I want to congratulate I know it was interagency work. I know there was quite a bit of activity in our city in the last 48, 72 hours. And congratulations on the combined work in order to lead to the arrest of the suspected murder from Seattle area.
Right.
And that was fantastic work and quick work. And I know our citizens were all of our residents were concerned, as we should be, and you were on top of it. Everybody at the station and LAPD and every other agency helped. So that was a great result. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I was going to ask if you could just talk briefly about the ongoing enforcement that's been going on and work with regard to e-bikes in the city. I know that's been an issue.
Yeah, so enforcement has been steady. A lot of tickets have been issued this summer for electric motorcycles. So I just want to remind parents that their minor child cannot operate a motor vehicle without a license. If they do that, parents will get cited for allowing that, and that's what's been happening. So you also run the risk of your child getting a ticket for driving without a license and that vehicle getting impounded. So no e-bikes on public roadways. You're more than welcome to ride them on private property, but definitely not within city limits.
Thanks very much.
Ed?
Thank you. Thank you for that report. It's always good to hear you. It seems like things are trending in the right direction a little bit, hopefully sustaining that. Just a couple things. One, in addition to what Councilmember Shapiro said, I just want to congratulate the team and how they integrated so beautifully with other agencies. Even though the issue at Gelson's turned out to be a foul ball, but the containment was amazing. And the copters out, it was really, it wasn't an extra inning play. It was right there in the game, and we really felt, I felt, my wife as well, it's very secure. I asked her not to leave the house because things could happen, but so remarkable, especially with the captain taking office so quickly. And it seems to be a pattern when someone takes over the office. You know, we got a big issue, whether it's a fire or a crime.
Perfect timing.
One more question. So a couple weeks ago, living in Greater Mallwood, there were a number of motorcycles on a Saturday morning about 10 o'clock that overran the Shell station. There must have been, guesstimate on the low side, 50 motorcycles. I think they used it as a staging point. I brought it to city manager's attention. He brought it to the station. I went back on Sunday, the following Saturday, and they haven't appeared. I'm just curious if anything like this has happened before, where there's staging area for the bikes on their way up Mulholland Highway to the Rock House.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see guys in big groups. They have planned rides, and they'll have a meetup point. So sometimes it's Calabasas, sometimes it's Agora. They like to go to the rock store and traverse Mulholland because it's a long, beautiful ride. So as long as they're not breaking any laws, or causing too many issues within the city, we tend to just leave them alone, and then they make their way out.
Well, they were on the sidewalk and on the curb, and they were all over the place. So, but we'll keep you posted if it happens again.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Peter, do you have any comments or questions?
I do not. Thank you for your report, though.
Okay. I just have a couple things. First of all, congratulations on most of the crime categories going down.
Right.
It was noticeable from the peaks in the early 2020s. Also, I'd like to have, I think I mentioned this before, I really did get some value out of the notable incidents, and now all that's noted is that there was the incident. Like, it doesn't say what it was. Like, there was a significant residential burglary on this date. Well, we used to get like a paragraph. So I know you're not doing that necessarily, but could you let whoever is doing that, I know it's a new person, that we prefer the old format if there's no disagreement among the council.
I will.
Okay. And that was it. At some point, I'd like to have the new captain come in here to be introduced.
Yes, so he was made aware that there weren't going to be some council members present today, so he was elected to come to the next meeting when everyone was here.
Great. Thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Next, we have, are there any members of the public wishing to speak? I see none and have no cards. Next, we have the oath of office for Calabasas Community Foundation member Jennifer Jaspi Mohajer.
Congratulations on your appointment. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jennifer Jasby Mohajer,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
and
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was going to ask you to,
So sorry.
if you want to take a moment just to introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. I'm
Make some
Jennifer
comments.
Jasby Mohajer. I have been a resident of Calabasas for over 20 years. It's been about 22, 23 years. My son was born and raised here. He went to Chaparral, AC Stell, and Calabasas High. He's now at CSUN. And my husband is a chiropractor in Los Angeles, and I'm very excited to serve as a commissioner for the foundation. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Okay, we're going to move on to council announcements. Ed, did you have any announcements?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem. It's hard to believe we're in August. I mean, we've got another week and a half, I guess, before school starts, so let's enjoy it while the traffic pattern is light. But I hope everybody had a great summer so far. I had the good fortune to be asked to represent the city. I was joined with our city manager and deputy city manager for the JPIA, which was an award for risk management efforts that the city has made forth. It really claims improved performance over time and responsiveness to loss control and action plan. The JPIA is a great foundation, supports so many cities, so I'm happy to have done that. Even taking a ride to La Palma during rush hour and back, it all worked out, and I definitely want to say thank you and a shout out to Deputy City Manager Michael McConville and his team for orchestrating this. It didn't happen overnight, so great work, and we're just one of a few that got awards. As far as announcements are concerned, we're so proud of Wild Walnut Park, and our Community Services Department put on a great event on a Sunday morning called Bark and Brew, and the brew was excellent, the coffee was strong, and the Danish was delicious. Everybody enjoyed meeting each other. It was kind of a community event. I think we should have more of them. We had a great turnout, hardly any parking spots. So I was glad I had the reserved parking spot as a councilman. It was a good feeling, but it was a great event. And I do have one, I'd like to make a note of something. I don't want to take much time, but this is off announcements, so to speak, but I had an email, and I think all of us got this email today, about a bobcat and 3 cubs that were walking through someone's yard. And it was in the green belt, I meant to say. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it really had to do with the fragile ecosystem that we have and anticoagulants that are outlawed. And just using this platform to remind residents that it's not a good thing, it's forbidden, and once it gets into the system, it's hard to stop it. And I appreciate as well, we like our bobcats, we like our red-tailed hawks, and we like our owls and coyotes. We moved here for part of that reason. So please keep that in mind when you're trying to protect yourself from them. And that's my report.
Okay, David?
Thank you. I just want to congratulate staff on a extremely well-done job on a couple things. One is the last concert in the park, which was last Sunday. It was probably one of the most well-attended concert we have ever seen in the city, at least in a long, long time. And everybody had a great time. It was wonderful. And I also want to thank staff and our first responders and sheriffs for National Night Out, which was also a really wonderful event, community event, held here, right here in front of City Hall. So thank you to everybody who was there, and especially our staff for a great job. This Friday, I hope I'm right, is the last open mic night. Am I wrong on that? No. I'm looking to Erica. The 19th. I'm sorry, the 19th, next. Okay, so close enough as the open mic night. Everybody can come, enjoy. It's right in back of the library in front of Founders Hall, and it's amphitheater. You have poetry, you have music, whatever you want to enjoy, please do. And then the last concert for the concert series at the lake at Calabasas is coming up on Sunday the 24th. Hopefully I got that right, at 6 o'clock, and it should be a great event as well. Last comment based upon what Ed said, school's beginning shortly, so please be extra careful and extra patient if you're driving as well. With increased cars, bikes, and pedestrians, we want to make sure it's safe and everybody has a great, great, great time back to school. So thanks very much.
Peter, do you have any announcements?
I do. I'd like to share with everybody that EPIC, FSC, which is our Emergency Preparedness in Calabasas, a fire-safe council, is helping coordinate and host our emergency response team training. And everybody is encouraged to check this out. If you'd like to feel and be a little bit more prepared when the next emergency arrives, our training will be Saturday, August 23rd and August 24th. If you're looking for information, more details on it and how to sign up, you can find that link in the calendar section of the city's website. I also wanted to echo what Councilmember Shapiro shared. Our final concert is coming up on the 24th of August. The band is Turn the Page, a tribute to Bob Seeger, and a special thanks to our Community Services Department for putting that together. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. I just had two, and one was to thank the staff, particularly the Community Services Department, for all of the wonderful programs they've had over the summer that have been well attended and have engaged the public. It's kept the community engaged at a time when people are out of school, and it helps keep them in a productive setting. So thank you for that, and it's much appreciated. I also want to remind the public that the landfill litigation that Calabasas is involved in is ongoing, and we are posting updates online for the public. So there's a dedicated page on our website for documents and other updates to go there for if you have any questions. And with that, I'm going to turn to our public comment section. Now is the time for public comment, and we will take public comments on any subject matter, anything within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council that is not on the agenda, and you will have 3 minutes or less per person to speak. I have a couple of cards. If you wish to speak and haven't filled out a card, please do so now. because we're not going to go back to public comment once it's done. My first card is for Stephanie Mullen from Southern California Edison.
Good evening, Mayor, wherever, Pro Tem and Council. My name is Stephanie Mullen, and I have the esteemed pleasure of representing your city on behalf of Southern California Edison, being the eyes and ears of the agency in the community and your voice back for Southern California Edison. I've born and raised just down the road in the San Fernando Valley, and have also had the pleasure of representing the city while serving for with Senator Fran Pavley. It is my hope to build very strong relationship with each of you and with your staff, who have had the pleasure to meet with, and they are doing excellent work advocating for your residents, advocating for your needs, and just look forward to continuing to build that relationship, see how we can continue to improve our communications and service within the city, and for myself to be accessible to you. So again, it is an honor. I'm recently coming from LA Metro and serving a similar position, and when this opportunity came to serve this Los Virgenes Malibu community, I really saw it as just a wonderful boon and opportunity. So thank you, and I look forward to being in contact.
Thank you. Next,
Can I interject with this, please? I think it's timely for the residents.
okay.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Stephanie, if you could stay here just a minute. So as Stephanie mentioned, we met with her just last week, I think it was, and went over a number of items, one of which is PSP events, PSPS events. And we know that is on our minds. We're starting to get alerts for LA County of circuits that are already being threatened to be shut off or will be shut off. And one of the things that we're hearing for this fire season is that PSPS events, public safety power shutoff events, will be more frequent and then longer in duration this fire season. So one of the things that we talked with Stephanie about is the need for residents in our community to be able to update their contact information with Edison. Stephanie, if you wouldn't mind, could you just talk about the importance of logging on and updating their information, their cell phone numbers, their emails, so they can get those reports about outages?
Thank you very much. Yes, the city manager is correct. It is an individual's opportunity to go to sc.com. You go into your billing and you're able to select how you want to learn about outages, planned as well as unplanned outages in your community, whether that is by text or by email. It is so critical that you go in and double check and make sure that the email you have in there is correct. Make sure it's not going to your spam filter. That's one of the first things that we look at. And, sorry. Okay. So yeah, we very strongly recommend that you do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Mark Levinson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Mark Levinson, I reside in Los Angeles. A couple of things. One is the mayor's lunch is coming right up on the 28th, when we held at the Country Club this year. I know that Mayor Kraut has arranged a panel of experts. He intends to ask questions that are pertinent to the community at large, so please attend. We still have a few openings. The next thing is we're having a ribbon cutting Friday night for another group. It's Next to Health, and if you want to be present and welcome into the community, please do. And then in September, which is Disaster Preparedness Month, the lunch will be devoted to that, and we'll have a guest speaker speaking on the issue of disaster preparedness. And it's my pleasure tonight to introduce Dr. Shizari, and I hope I pronounced that right, who has his practice here in Calabasas.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Alireza Chizari, board-certified chiropractor neurologist and the founder of California Brain and Spine Center here in Calabasas. We help patients who are dealing with post-concussion syndrome, dizziness, balance issues, brain fog, migraines, and neurological disorders. Many of our patients have been to multiple doctors. They've done brain scans and MRIs, and it's all came back normal. But still, they're feeling not themselves. They're like, dealing with many symptoms like dizziness, headaches. They cannot do their daily activities. And most often they've been told that that's all they can do for them. In our clinic, we do advanced diagnostics to find the root cause of their issues. Then we write treatment plans based on their findings, tailored for them, non-invasive, non-pharmaceutical, like therapies like visual, vestibular, proprioception, oxygen therapies to help them get their lives back. We are so proud to serve the Calabasas community. We look forward to work hand in hand with medical doctors, attorneys, and wellness providers. We offer complimentary consultations to figure out if we can help the patients. So if you know anyone who are dealing with these lingering symptoms, we would love to help them. Because if your brain works better, your life is going to be better. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you. Mark, are you done? Oh, okay. I don't have any other cards, so we're going to move on. We have a large consent agenda, and they consist of items 3 through 14. I would like to take off 7, 8, 9, and 14. We also have a speaker on 14. Peter, do you have any items you'd like to take off?
No, I do not.
Okay, Ed, do you have any items you'd like to take off? Number 12. David?
No additional items, thanks.
Okay. So may I have a motion to approve items 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, and 13?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Albrecht, Councilmember Shapiro,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bojajian,
Aye.
Mayor Kraut,
Yes.
and Councilmember Weintraub is absent for the record. Vote passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go in order of number. Item 7, and then we'll approve all of them at the end if that's the will of the council. Item number 7 is benefit programs for full-time employees, full-time permanent employees. I had a question on, and Erica, this might be part of you as well, the fitness recreation, subsection 22. So this updates our offerings to employees who used to have access to the Tennis and Swim Center, and then we, on an annual basis, would pay for access to the Agoura Hills Calabasas Community Center. This had to be updated because it's the Calabasas Community Center. And also, retiring council members had access to the tennis center only. The community center set its own guidelines, which was 2 years of service on the board. So the question, and I guess it's mostly to you, Erica, is maybe if you could take a seat. It gets a little complicated because we've already given out 20 years worth of benefits. Those people are going to continue to get benefits, correct?
Yes.
So it used to be they had to serve 2 years on the community center board. What is that criteria still being used for retired community center board members? Are you continuing to use that?
We are opening that to any previous board member.
Okay.
Yes.
So any previous board member now can do that. And, and I'm glad you included, to clarify, because sometimes it's not clear that it's that person only, not their whole family and everything
Correct.
like that. So that clears that. I did want to add a couple of things to this, though, if the council agrees. And that is, we had some very long-term employees who worked at the community center, in some cases 20 years. And through no fault of their own, we had to lay them off because we closed the community center. And we never even sent them off properly. They were just laid off because of the times, and everybody remembers what it was like. I would like to add those individuals, which would include the former, those individuals who have served as director of the community center, which would be basically a limited number of people. I think some of them did already the board gave them full-time, permanent membership, but the records aren't really that clear. So I'd like to include those, and I'd like to include the 3 individuals who worked at the community center approximately 20 years each, which would be Linda Schroeder, Brandon Ferguson, and Jenna Ferguson. As a small token of our thank you, some of these people don't live in the area anymore. I don't think it's going to be a burden to the community center to add those, but I think it's a council prerogative to do so, and it'd be the right thing to do. And keep in mind, we're not going to ever add anyone else because the community center doesn't have a staff anymore of its own. But those people should be added.
Just to clarify, because those 3 are who you're talking about, because you mentioned another group, I thought, and
I did mention
Who are
the
the-
directors. So that would be Breanne Anderson and Anne-Marie Flaherty, who I believe already has it, but I don't recall exactly what the board did. These are former directors.
Right, and I was on the board with you there, so I remember, and I know they served well. Some were not more than a few years, but Brianne I believe, was a short term, right?
She was a short term, but I think like I said, it's a small compensation for having been laid off through no fault of their own.
Sure.
Ed?
Seems very reasonable. The fact that you were on that board for so long, you would certainly know who they were and how many. Or we're maybe talking about 6 or 7 individuals.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thought. I would support that for sure.
Peter, do you have any comments?
Yeah, we're mixing the term board members and directors. Certainly our 2 past directors, I do believe that one of them does have a lifetime membership, so I would extend it to the other as well. The board members, I think looking here at our agenda packet, the board members would not have a fixed term requirement on them, so all past board members would already be included. And the only thing I would say about the 3 employees, and I don't know the 3 employees, is it's not a normal course of practice, so I hate to set any sort of precedent like that when we lay somebody off for economic reasons. Obviously, this was one of the worst in our city's history. However, as you've mentioned, it's only 3 people that fall into that category, so I don't think that's a burden on the city, and I'm okay with that.
Okay. Did you want to say anything?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, if I could. Mayor, I think you hit on this, and I think the concern here is the precedence that's set, is if we open this up to former employees of the community center, I think the question would be, why aren't we extending this benefit to former or retired employees of the city who've also served for a number of years?
Because the community center is a separate
And again, I'm
entity.
just bringing this up. This is a discussion of the council, but it is setting a precedence that retired members of the city employees could be asking for that same benefit.
Yeah, we're not setting any precedent. This is a separate entity that probably would have done that when these employees retired anyways because they served so long. We had started to do that with our directors, and we never had, because these 3 people stayed in their employment so long, we didn't really have an opportunity to give it to them. But I believe the board probably would have done that. I think they're the only 3 employees that I'm aware of that have served that length of time that we actually laid off for, without any cause other than COVID. So I would really like to do this as a nice gesture that we are going to do only for this occasion and make it clear. Is there any other comments on this?
Yeah, I've got one. I've got to
Yeah.
add a comment to it. So concerning the precedent, this is a unique precedent because they were let go. It was closed down by no fault of their own. So if you're thinking about, this is a question, thinking about other employees that went into retirement that on their own terms, they should be eligible. I don't think that would fit this circumstance.
I'd let the city attorney weigh in on what is set as the precedent.
Well, that's a political question. I don't think that's a legal question.
I certainly think, and although it's not legal in nature, I do think that there is a distinction for those who were separate employees of the community center and had been there for 20-plus years, as opposed to an employee of the city who has been employed with the city for 20-plus years. I think if that distinction is clear, that could be made, and you can approve this, I wouldn't say retroactive, but allow the lifetime membership of these former employees. I do think it is important to make it clear, though, that it is not going to be a benefit or a precedent-setting circumstance where we would eventually open it up to other former employees of the city who have worked in other divisions or other facilities.
Okay, I would support that, and those three individuals you mentioned were incredible and great for our community, and the former JPA of the community center as well. So I would support that with the
We can add that language.
distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, we can add that language. All right, anything else on this? All right, then let's move on to the next item, which was, I took off, which was 8, the city clerk appointment. I just took this off to recognize and congratulate Christy Bucks.
Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
Can we go over the criteria for the granting of the lifetime membership one more time? Board members?
Well, we clarified through Erica that it's all board members now, so even if someone wasn't given it before, I guess, they're getting it now. So it's all former board members, JPA board members. Then you've got the former executive directors.
No.
Which there are two?
Two.
There
Well, there were more.
3. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze.
Plus,
Sorry, there were 4, I think.
right.
But the problem is, I don't have the records as to which ones we actually gave it to. I think we gave it to like Anne-Marie
Anne-Marie,
Flaherty.
yeah.
I think we voted on that.
Anne-Marie got
But let's just make it clean so that we know we have that record. And the other 3 were Linda Schroeder, Brandon Ferguson, and Jenna Ferguson, and that's it. And then the language that's suggested by the city attorney to clarify this is not a precedent-setting thing can be added to that resolution as well. And I think she's making some notes. All right,
Thank
moving
you.
on to item, is that it for your questions?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Item 8 is the city clerk appointment. As I was saying, I want to congratulate Christy Buckskemper. This is on item 8, and congratulations on your appointment. Clap for you. And did you want to say anything? You're the brand new city clerk.
Just wanted to say thank you. It's such an honor to be able to work for the city and support and work with all of the colleagues and staff and city management here. Council's been incredibly supportive since the moment I arrived. So just grateful to be here, ready to work hard for you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Okay. Anyone else on that item? Okay. Item 9 is the Commons, the final track map. Is anyone here from Caruso? I don't see anybody. Oh, you are. Sorry. You're in the back and I can't see you. Did you want to address the council at all? Because I know they usually send somebody, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. You're here for questions. Okay. Did any staff want to add anything to this? Because I know we went over extensively a lot of things. My only question would be the timeline. I know that things happen, but do we have a proposed timeline? And do you have knowledge of any issues of, yes, they're going to close this part of the parking lot when they're doing this part of the development, or this is going to change, or whatever?
Good evening, members of the City Council. To answer your question, we don't have an official timeline that I'm aware of. They are currently in building and safety plan check, so that process has started. This piece, which is recording the final track map, is another piece of that puzzle that they need in order to move forward with it, but we don't have a firm timeline. We do estimate that they'll begin construction within the next year, but there's a lot of moving pieces with a project of this scale. And with regards to the staging plan, I haven't seen that yet, so I'm not sure what areas of the parking lot will be closed at the moment. I do think that has been submitted to building and safety, so we could certainly follow up and get more information back to the council.
Thank you, and I'd like at some point to have the information, and maybe if it's pertinent enough, maybe you can include it in you're posting on the, like, how they post online different development updates, because it's such a frequented place.
Yeah, we
Does it-
can update the web page because there's a current project page, and then we'll also include it in weekly reports to the city manager.
Okay. Does anybody else have questions about the Commons development? Peter, do you have any questions? Peter?
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay, then we'll move on. Thank you. Item 12 is the professional services agreement with Matrix Audiovisual Designs Incorporated for the Founders Hall audiovisual system upgrade. Ed, you asked for that to be taken
Yes,
off.
thank you. Hey, Tony. Thank you. I'm very satisfied with the way this whole thing went. The RFP, the equipment, the choices, just have some questions concerning it because it's such an important element to the city. We use that room all the time. We have guests that use that room. They rent it. And we've had experiences with it in the past where it's been faulty, and we want to make sure it's in lockstep and current as things change. So just a couple defaults that I found. I shouldn't say defaults, I should say faults with that equipment that we've had. I'm hoping that maybe it won't be the same. And one is the direction of the sound. I find that the sound comes at you, at your face, but not from the sides. It's hard for people to hear. When I'm in the audience, I've had many people turn to me and say, what'd they say? And it's not just for events, it's for speaking engagements, and I know they have art classes in there where they have guests come in and speak on it. So that's one, the quality of the sound, the quality of the connection. The equipment could be great, but if the connection is not verifiably excellent, then the whole thing is a problem of a different nature. And then the quality of the loop. I know we have a loop in here. We have a lot of seniors that also use Founders Hall for a variety of things. So I want to be assured that what we're putting in is going to be brand spanking new, and it's going to be helpful for them to hear. And again, how many devices would be available? Because many times we have an audience that could be up to 50 or 60 or more. Not that everybody would need a device, but maybe they could schedule it ahead of time if they need it, but how many might be available? So I've got a chunk of questions there for you. I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Okay, no
but I
problem.
want to catch it before it happens.
For the first question for the sound is, as part of this RFP is to replace, I believe that the problem with the sound quality is we have two broken speakers in our current system. The RFP will replace those two broken ones, and in addition, we are going to replace all the existing speakers as the vendor's alternative proposal. For the connections as well, we're going to replace all the connections for the audio and video connections in the Founders Hall.
Was that one of the problems, that the connection wasn't a good connection, or the wiring? And with this new wiring, that'll reinforce the connection to a more stable connection?
Are you referring to the video connection, or? Yes. Yeah, they're going to replace the connector and also the cable, connect the connectors to the back of the control devices as well.
We've had many events where people have brought their video and it stopped in the middle of the video, then it started and it stopped. It was very disruptive. So,
Yes, that's part of the RP request.
okay. And then the question was about the loop.
The hearing loop is not part of this RP replacement because that's a totally separate devices, and we have to go through a different vendor to either upgrade or replace. And the problem with the hearing loop you mentioned is probably because of we have a metal frame in the Founders Hall, which causing the echo or interfering to the system.
Can that be corrected?
It's going
Or it can be corrected with a big expense?
We don't know at this moment. We have to have engineer to come out to do a diagnose and see if there's any way to block those interfering. Yeah, that's we have to go through their vendor engineering.
Okay, I mean, I just want to get out all the squeaks and make sure it's squeak-free. And then the last, I guess, how many devices? And I guess that's part of the question we'll have to find out from them.
The current system, we have, I think, 8 to 12 devices. But we can add more devices if needed. It's basically just a broadcasting system, so you can add any additional devices without compromising the sound quality.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for those questions, Ed. That was
Thank
very
you.
helpful. Does anybody, any other council member wish to talk about item 12? All right, then I'm going to move to item 14, and I was going to pull this off anyways, but I also have a speaker card. Before we get to the speaker, I was wondering if the staff, I don't want a long report, but because we get so many questions and because it covers such an important issue, maybe you could just give us a brief synopsis of what this is for the public.
Sure, we'll give you a brief overview on the FireWise program for the city of Calabasas. Since August of 2024, we've helped 12 HOAs attain FireWise status, with a 13th in process right now. We've done follow-up HOA presentations because I think that's the key. A lot of HOAs, I believe in the beginning, were interested in FireWise for insurance reasons, but also home hardening, but insurance reasons. So now, coming into this next year, and the reason we want to expand is to do more education, more follow-up home hardening classes for our HOAs, and introduce a home hardening incentive program for some of our community members that wish to do home hardening. And we're working on the structure of that program, but do something where we can incentivize our homeowners to do home hardening. And coming into this fire season, it's more important than ever to be FireWise, start working on things you can do around your house in Zone 0, and then the 5 to 30-foot area, but mostly the home, starting with your vents. The vent screens are 80 to 90% of the structure fires that were lost in the Palisades and the Eaton fires were ember cast. Ember cast going into vents of homes and catching the homes on fire, and then you had really a structure ignition fire instead of a wildland fire. So getting back to FireWise, it's been a very, very valuable program for our community members. I believe it's really mushroomed out among the Santa Monica Mountains communities, and we're in the thick of it, and we want to expand it and bring that awareness to all of our community members.
Thank you. Before we get to the council comments, we do have a speaker card. Brian Cameron.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. My name is Brian Cameron, longtime resident of Calabasas. Creating and supporting FireWise communities is currently the most effective way of creating a grassroots movement toward making our city safer from the next wildfire. Since last year, as the chief mentioned, we've successfully helped 12 communities achieve NFPA's good standing designation, up from 1 the prior year. The first year is easy. The individual entity basically just needs to provide a receipt for brush clearance, and that meets the financial obligation of becoming a FireWise community. We also, however, help the HOAs create, which is one of the requirements, a 3-year action plan of safety improvements. And starting in year 2, maintaining good standing status requires not only that financial commitment, but also showing progress on those 3-year action plans. The funding associated with item 14 is meant to keep this program moving in the right direction by helping us, helping them, the individual communities, do the things they need to do to report to the NFPA and continue being a community in good standing, while at the same time, we're talking to new communities about becoming FireWise. So we strongly support item 14 because those are the tools that we're going to need to help individual communities maintain their status as a Firewise community. Thank you.
Any council comments? David?
Just going to say I do support this very much. And Mike, thanks for those comments and all your hard work and everybody's work in the community, the HOAs. This is so important. I know there's a frustration. We all have it with regard to insurance still. And that's being worked on, hopefully, by some leaders in Sacramento as well. And I can't wait for that to have an effect. But this is so important, and we are years from the worst wildfire, at least in our recent history, and certainly we're in the midst of warnings and shutoffs and so forth and fire danger year-round. So this is the more awareness, the more public input, the more community input we can get to help make our communities safer, I fully support.
Ed?
Thank you for the report, Brian. Thank you, Chief. You know, we are pressing down every single day. I can see it. I can see it in the neighborhoods, little by little, and more than a little now. I see gardener trucks. They're clearing brush. They're cutting trees down. It's not a landslide, but it's happening. And I think people are getting the message. We also received, at least in our neighborhood, we did, those of us that qualified to be fire-wise. Our property was in good shape, good standing. So the fire department has had people out because I got it in the mail. So I assume many of my neighbors did. But I have a question I think that the public would like to know. Because as this has evolved, and Brian was very helpful with this when he does his house hardening, the eaves, the screen size that builders put up when many of the communities were built in the early 70s were a quarter inch heavy chicken wire. Now, when we started doing home hardening, we were told it was supposed to be a quarter of an inch. Maybe it was a little bit bigger, maybe 3/8. Well, now I hear it's a 1/16 of an inch. So can you clarify what size it should be?
Absolutely. So any home built before 2009 was built with quarter-inch screens. And there's great videos on our Calabasas Firewise website that shows the IBHS, the Insurance for Building and Building Safety. They do videos, you can imagine that, but they've had it down to a science where you can see the embers go through the quarter-inch screens. So it's science now. It's not just hearsay, it's just not seeing it, it's science. And any home built before 2009 should have their screens retrofitted to 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch. So then that will keep the embers out. The embers are the #1 cause of home ignitions during wildfires, by far.
Follow up on that. I mean, the quarter of an inch was really to keep out animals, birds and whatnot, from going in the attic. It had no thought about embers. But if a family has the 1/8 inch or the 1/16 inch, is the 1/8 inch, because they may have done that first, and then it became everybody in vogue was the 1/16 inch. Is the 1/8 inch a problem?
The 1/8 inch is fine. People are going to 1/16 inch because they think more is better, but you have to be careful. Everybody's attic is engineered for airflow. So if you completely shut off the airflow in your attic, you're going to have mildew problems and other problems up there. You have a lot of exposed wood and insulation up there. So 1/8 inch is fine. 1/16 inch, 1/8 inch, it's all fine. You just have to make sure it's fire-resistant material. It's not just screen that, aluminum screen that you could use for. You have to get rated, and we have a list of manufacturers that make the screens for folks on our Calabasas Firewise website. And we have a limited list of contractors. We're working on building a bigger list. And a lot of people do it themselves. And you can certainly do that as long as you get the right material. And I know the mayor's listening. So it's so important. The vent screening is where we could all start
especially if our home was built before 2009.
Well, a lot of people have asked me, the reason why I'm bringing this up and going at it, they spent a lot of money because it's second floors in some cases. So to do all these eve openings, there's probably 18 or 20 of them. So they spent a little bit of money, and they're worried that now they didn't get the right size. They should have done 1/8 of an inch. So it's a good point. If it can get air for the attic and the 1/8 inch is okay, they don't have to go to 16th inch. I'll let people know, and I'm sure they're happy to hear that.
Correct. Thank you
very much.
Thank you for that question.
Peter, did you have anything on this item?
No, I'll just have to agree. 1/8 inch is the current recommended size. And as far as home hardening goes, you know, the best thing that we can do in our community is harden our homes so that as the wildfire embers are spreading, that our houses don't become the means that burns our neighbor's house down, and vice versa. And so that's why this Firewise community is so important to us. It's going to have to help with our insurance. There is a requirement by law for that to be in there. They haven't really figured out how much that'll be, but it's not going to be a huge amount of money. It's not going to cut our insurance bills in half. But as was mentioned earlier here, it gets the neighborhood working together. It gets the community involved. It gets everybody aware, and that's so important to saving our communities when the next fire rolls through. So very much in support of all of this.
Thank you for all the good work, and thank you to Brian for all of your volunteer efforts, which I really appreciate, and thank you for coming tonight. We are now done with the items that were taken off. If I could have a collective motion for the following items: 7 as specifically amended, 8, 9, 12, and 14.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Albrecht? Councilmember Shapiro?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bojajian?
Aye.
Mayor Kraut?
Yes.
And Councilmember Weintraub is absent for the record. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. We have no public hearings. We have no continued business, no new business. So we will move now to verbal reports. We'll start with council member updates, if you have any. Ed?
We're back to business again. So upcoming, I have a government affairs meeting. I have it monthly with the chamber. I look forward to that. And Clean Power Alliance, the board meeting, the finance meeting. I'm on that committee. And we also have a retreat, which we have once a year. I'm looking forward to that. And then this Friday, we have a revenue discussion with the city manager and mayor and myself, and assistant city manager, maybe deputy city manager, but we're going to put our heads together and think going forward. That's about it. Thank you.
David?
Thank you. Lots of meetings, all went well.
Peter, do you have anything?
Also had several meetings, but nothing to report.
Just a few things. I think the Chamber's 70th Gala was after our last council meeting, so I did want to send a shout out to the Chamber for its 70th. It went really well at the Country Club. Congratulations on being around for 70 years and going strong. I attended the State League Board meeting, League of California Cities, in July in San Jose as a board member, coming to the end of my two-year term, but happily was reappointed in August while I was on vacation. I was reappointed to serve another 2-year term on the state board. So those are my things, continuing my service on contract cities. I've been attending some meetings of them, but I have nothing specific to report. And with that, I'll turn to the city manager for the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just a couple of items. I did want to follow up on one more aspect of the public safety power shutoffs. Stephanie did not mention, but we will get this information out to the public, is that SCE will be hosting 10 different meetings. These will be in person or virtual or a hybrid of such to discuss the PSPS events. And we expect those to happen over the next couple months, and so we'll make our community aware of that. Also, just wanted to thank quickly our staff. We often call July our July recess, but it's usually the busiest month for staff. And thank you for acknowledging community service in their events. But it was also very busy for library and a lot of their programming. And you probably saw our Public Works Department out in all kinds of different aspects, painting curbs, getting ready for the school season, everything else. And so we want to acknowledge and appreciate them. Also, just as a bit of information shared with me just recently from our Community Development Department, this last year, fiscal year 24-25, was our highest number of permits and revenues associated with permits, both in building and safety and also in planning. And so just to give some numbers, we had a total of 950 plan checks, over 5,000 inspections for building and safety, and then for planning, over 1,500 permits, with revenues of about $3.2 million for that fiscal year for that activity. So this covers everything from tenant improvements in commercial buildings to residential improvements to new construction. So it's been a very busy year, and again, shout out to the staff on that.
Okay. Future agenda items requests. David, did you have any? Ed? Peter?
No, nothing else.
Okay. The only one I would ask to consider at some point is, I know the city manager gives an update, maybe a city attorney update that we include at the end as well for any litigation and other matters that the public can hear about, just those items not from closed session. It'd be helpful, I think, because we get a lot of questions, at least I do, about that. So we are done, and with no further business, we are adjourned.